What's up, Mindful Reality family? Greetings. I know that it's been, a week or so since I was last on this channel. I last did my challenge episode 10 recap of All Stars. As y'all know, the other channel is not monetized anymore. I still haven't decided what I'm going to do with that or if I'm going to try to reapply for that page to be monetized again in September, or whether I'm going to start a new page and start transferring some of the stuff that I have over there over to the new page to make it like a more focused page. My mind has kind of been going in that direction, to be honest with you. I've been thinking more about the fact that when I started that page, I had one vision of what I wanted it to be. And then my vision split into multiple different things once I started covering Big Brother and the page started to gain subscribers and followers from that. And then I tried to switch back to the mental health. So I'm almost on the brink of just starting a different page and figuring that out from there. But this page remains what it is. That's why I'm actually thankful. It's raining and thundering really bad here. That's why I'm actually pretty thankful that I have this page that I can still talk about my reality TV content. But with that said, thanks for being here. We got a lot to jump into, and I'm going to pull out my notes really quick because I've had these notes since Wednesday, but I've had so many different things take place. Bear with me, please. Okay, so we are into the second to last episode of the season of Challenge All Stars 4. We're at about 2 minutes and 20 seconds for anyone who wants to put that in the comments for the timestamp. At the beginning of the episode, it's showing us that Adam is still upset at Steve. And again, I said this last week. I don't know why Adam would be so upset at Steve for taking his star when he clearly had the opportunity and the vote to make sure that Adam did not go, to make sure that Steve did not go into that elimination. But he was like, I want to protect my own star. I want to save myself and make sure that I can be in the final. He didn't care whether Steve was a casualty of that. So all's fair in love won the challenge. That means that Steve went in there, he won. And the thing about winning is it gives you the right to choose. And the thing about being his friend who put him in there and spearheaded putting him in there, as a matter of fact, tried to convince everyone to put him in there. Now you are at risk of the person coming back and taking that star from you. So that's what happened. Adam is sour grapes about it. Flora said a funny line, which was, I'm surprised about what the F I'm doing here. I'm surprised I'm not being sent home in a coffin, which was funny at the beginning of the episode. But now that I watched the show a little bit differently, I realized that that was a bit of foreshadowing. Flora has been a funny addition. I mean, there's a couple things I didn't like that she said about Kara, but aside from that, she's overall been a funny, good addition to All Stars that I have enjoyed. I've enjoyed her confessionals for the most part. So we're in a spot where we're at the last episode before the final. We have 6 star holders. Hi, Ma. We have 6 star holders, and we have 6 people that do not have a star. So TJ kept saying all season, you better take your opportunities because we only have 6 people who are going to be able to run my final. 3 men and 3 women. I just left to check your message. That's funny. three men and three women. So we don't know what's going to happen. We don't know if it's going to be some kind of purge. We don't know if they're going to do a final daily and then the group is going to vote or something. And one of the star holders is going to have to go against a non-star holder, or if it's going to go like how the regular dailies have been going with a winning group, a middle group, and a losing group. And it's going to do something like that, which I didn't know if that was even possible. So we get to the final part. TJ's there. TJ pulls up in the RV. A lot of people loved that classic scene. I've loved the whole throwbacks that they've been doing. I loved TJ pulling up in the RV. I've loved seeing so much of TJ outside of just hosting because normally we just see him show up and we just see him explain the directions and explain how the game is going to go. And then just give them a little speech at the end and leave. But we've seen him active. We saw him on the bike in the last episode. We've seen him driving multiple cars, driving the RV. We saw him sliding down that Mario Kart style thing in that cart in one of the earlier episodes. So I've enjoyed seeing TJ on All Stars. So we're all waiting for TJ. Hi, Colleen. We're all waiting for TJ to explain the directions for how this last daily is going to go. So TJ gives half of them some amazing news. TJ is like, all right, so for the six of you who have already earned your stars, and I know earned is relative because a couple of them were just given their stars, but for the six of you who already have your stars, is my point. You're in the final. So they all celebrate, and I think Cara said this funny thing, but I had this. Oh, Cara was like, "Good job, Veronica, you made it." So the six of them, in something that I can't really recall seeing before, they all were sitting on the other side. They all got to sit on these like lawn chairs, camp chairs, and drink beer. They were sitting there cracking jokes, drinking beer, and it's like, okay, we don't have to work today. We're just gonna watch and see who makes it. So they make the daily challenge is something where the top man and the top woman finishers of that daily challenge earn their star. And then there's actually going to be 8 finalists. A part of me was happy when TJ announced, like, hey, the people who have their stars already are safe because I saw a heartbreaking scenario in which one of the star holders had to go against a non-star holder at the very end and then lose their star. But I thought that would have been interesting. I thought that would have been exciting to be in a scenario where it's like win or go home. Win or you don't get your star. But it is what it is. I mean, so now we had the 3 males. Hold on. This episode was a few days ago. Okay, so Adam said, oh, I want to get Steve out even more than I want to win. I want to destroy that effing clown. I was like, all right, Adam, we hear you. Um, Flora drops out before the thing starts. Flora's like, I didn't think I'd get this far, but my body is broken, and oh man, I can't do this. And TJ gave kind of his light, you know how I feel about quitters thing. And then it cut to Avery being like, she tried her best, but she can literally hardly walk, so she had to go. I watched most of the episode on and off. So you haven't asked any question yet, but I guess maybe you had a question in your mind or something that you have yet to ask. So, anyways, now it's on the women's side. It's Laurel versus Avery, and I would have I would have figured that Laurel is going to win anyways against Avery and Flora. I didn't think there was a chance for Flora to win that daily, anyways. But take her out, and now it's just a two-person battle on the women's side. And I'm like, that means Laurel probably made it to the final. That's what I'm thinking already. And then on the men's side, we had Adam, we had Derek, and Who do we got? Ryan? I think Adam, Derek, and Ryan. That was it. So I didn't really know who was gonna win out of them, but I don't know. I didn't really know, but I kind of wanted Derek to win just because I knew of his motivation that he talked about, the sister of his that he lost to suicide, and the fact that he came into this in really good shape. And I heard people were saying that Derek did some like, I don't know, marathon training or some serious running training, and it shows. It definitely shows. TJ is not a massive brick. TJ is actually a great guy. It seems like, anyways. I can't say that personally, but from anything I've heard from any of the challengers, they all love TJ. Let's see. So now the two winners of these final two stars. No surprise on the women's side. Laurel's a beast. She beat Avery soundly. I'm not gonna say I thought Avery had no chance. I thought she had some chance because I didn't know how exactly the last daily would play out. But sheesh, that's all I could say. Avery was really bad and Laurel was really good. I think she might have won overall for that last daily. So then on the other side, Derek wins. So I was happy that Derek won. So that's our last two star holders. So we're going into this finale. Our last two star holders are Laurel and Derek. Oh, I have a couple of lines that I skipped. Ace. Ace had his one liner before they started where he was like, "This is the best day of my life on the challenge. We get to play games and we get to drink. He said, this is the greatest challenge I've ever been a part of in my life." Ace is funny. Steve said of Laurel while the daily was going on, he said, "I believe she was created in a lab in 2342 to purposely go back in time and dominate challenges." That was pretty funny too. And then they played Save the Best for Last by Vanessa Williams. I remember that's this season or All Stars in general with the sound, the music and everything. Oh man, it takes me back to those times. Like I love the classic feel of All Stars. Some people are like, I don't like All Stars because the games aren't as hard and blah blah blah. But you got to think that was the point of All Stars. That was the concept that Mark Long was going with when he pitched it to them about having an All Stars, bringing a throwback and also engaging this audience of people who followed them from when they were in their 20s all the way up till whatever they are now, mid 30s, 40s, and even 50s for some. And now they're mothers, fathers, grandmothers, grandfathers. They've gone through so much life, and to come back and do something like this is a feat in and of itself. And pretty cool that Ace made the final because remember when Ace got rocked by LT? LT and him did pole wrestle, and I think that was the last time they did pole wrestle in All Stars because I think they were like, "We are too old for this." I got way off track, but Vanessa Williams saved the best for last. We had a two-sided, those of us who remember the A and B side cassette tapes. I had this two-sided cassette tape when I was a kid, and it had Save the Best for Last on one side, and it had Butterfly by Mariah Carey on the other side. So as soon as that song played, I was like, man, hi Cam. I was like, man, this brings back all the feels. So they had this funny thing in the RV. I think that they have these kind of spoon-fed lines. It was Big Brother-ish with the spoon-fed lines, but it was funny nonetheless. Because TJ comes in and says, "Meet me in the RV." So they get in the RV, and then Kara says, "TJ, I'm hungry." Veronica says, "You'll have plenty of time to eat in the final." And then TJ said, "You might regret saying that." So I thought that was funny. So now there's eight star holders, and TJ says, "Okay, there's eight star holders. but there will only be four of you by sunrise. So I was like, you know what? TJ, anytime TJ gives something more, something else gets taken away. So two more people got a chance to start the final, but then it's like only half of y'all are gonna make it through the night. So TJ can be cruel sometimes. I probably still have that cassette somewhere in my house. Imagine a whole cassette tape with only two songs on it, but that's how it used to be. Okay, so where were we? They had this really cool challenge where they were strapped on top of this car. The car was driving around. They got paintball guns, and whoever hit the most targets, they had these stars, stargets, as Kara said earlier in the season, but targets. And while the car is driving around, the person who gets the most points hitting these targets with the paintball gun gets an advantage going into the second part of the finale. So we don't know what the second part is or what advantage they're going to get. So we go through this thing, and the top two finishers in that are Laurel and Leroy. So I was like, okay. So the person who ended up finishing with the best score was actually Leroy. So we go into this part two of the finale. Leroy has the advantage. So part two is done in secret. So they have this like star thing, and then they have this ring that they have to maneuver around the star and get to the other side. And the loser of that goes home. And I was like, wow, this is like something that you would do. This is literally a carnival game. I would hate to go home on something like that. But this is the great equalizer because it doesn't matter if you are Cara Maria or it doesn't matter if you are Veronica. It's just a matter of speed, and that's it. How it's literally like a Big Brother game, to be honest. When now that I'm thinking about Big Brother, yeah, it's kind of like a Big Brother-ish type of game. It's not depending on athleticism and mental sharpness or anything like that. It's just kind of the luck of the draw at you being good at that particular thing. And it's like if you touch the sides of the star with that cylinder, you get a shock. And Leroy goes first, and his advantage. I'm a mod on the Colleen is a mod on this channel. You know why? Because I can't make somebody a mod when I'm using StreamYard. StreamYard does not allow you the YouTube capabilities. So the only way that I can add somebody as a mod is if I'm streaming directly from YouTube. Hey Mark, can only stop by for a minute. I liked the first game. The second one not so much because it's such a luck of the draw thing. That's what I was just saying. I don't really like games like that in particular, but what can you do? So Leroy's advantage on the star, I think that he got to start like a quarter of the way through the star, something to that effect. So he got to start at a further point than everybody else. So he went through and he was like slow and steady. I'm just focused on not touching the sides and not getting shocked. So he did it slowly, but because of his advantage, you're like, he's probably not going to be last place, even if he isn't first. Yeah, I guess for an all-stars, like if this happened on the flagship, I'd be outraged. You asked me that same question and they did this on the flagship and it's like loser goes home after that, I would be really outraged. But I guess I wasn't as mad on all-stars. But then again, imagine your favorite person on the season goes home off of that. That's the whole thing. I was less mad because Kara didn't go. I would have been more mad if she was within that losing group. So they finish this. Oh, okay. So Leroy goes through this thing and he's yelling and pretending that he got shocked. Nicole went through this thing I think she might have got shocked a few times if I remember correctly, but she came back crying, and of course, gaslighting Laurel, even in the final. She was getting hugged and consoled by Laurel. Oh, oh, it hurts so bad. And I'm like, even in the finale, she's lying to this lady. And Laurel's hugging and consoling her. Um, yeah, I mean, I'm not really gonna go through too much of that. What did make me mad? I don't know. I am not really sure. I'm always trying to start something. So, okay, so we get to this bottom two, and the bottom two ends up being Derek and Laurel. Derek and Laurel are in the bottom two, and that goes to show you like this carnival thing because Derek and Laurel overall is just one of the best performers overall. And she was just first in the first part of the challenge, or she was second in the first part of the challenge, and she's just a beast overall. And Derek has been one of the top performers all season. So they end up in this bottom two. They leave us on that cliffhanger, and that's it. We don't know who goes home between Laurel and Derek. So that's what we're going to find out. And then one of them is going to go home, but he said there's going to be four people that are gone by sunrise. So even after that, in the next episode, somehow three more people are going home, and I'm wondering how that's going to happen because there's so many different ways that could happen. They could have another game where someone's going home. They could have some kind of daily-ish type of challenge where the last three people in that challenge go home. They could have one person go home from a challenge, and then they could have like an elimination. They could have two people go home in an elimination. There's so many probabilities possibilities, I should say, not probabilities of what they can do to eliminate those last three people. But that's where we're at now. Um, the episode was good. I would say like an 8 out of 10 for what I expected. I already mentioned the things that I wish had happened. I wish that there had been a final elimination, not like a daily, but an actual elimination that the winner goes into the final and gets the star and the loser has to go home because that's how it's been in other things where they had like Red Skull, Gold Skull. There was other ones, but ones that you had to go into an elimination to earn the star. This season was a little different because there was not an option to give a star before. In the other seasons that made you earn to get into the final, it was like I remember when they had the skulls, it was like if you got in multiple times, you would get a star, and then you would get another star, you get another star. So you would have like if you won four eliminations, you'd have four stars on your helmet. And then if somebody beat you in an elimination, they would now inherit your stars. And then the amount of stars that you had would be your advantage. You would get like some kind of an advantage, which I thought that Steve should get. I think that Kara had multiple times in the elimination. I think that anyone who went into multiple eliminations should have also got an advantage going into the final, but it is what it is. I mean, that's just me nitpicking. But anyways, that's my recap. Thanks for joining me. Appreciate everybody for being here. Please make sure like, comment, and subscribe and hit the notification bell. And what else is I going to say? Yes, the final episode is next week, Wednesday. I can't wait for that. And in a month, a little over a month, we have the Big Brother premiere. I will go to the Big Brother premiere party. And I got a list of the names. They have a lot of people from Big Brother 25 on there, as I should have expected. I wasn't really thinking about that, but obviously, I've only been to one before. one Big Brother premiere party, but it seems like they always have several of the last season's participants in there. So I saw that a lot of them are going to be in there. Jag's going to be there. Um, Riley's going to be there. Kirsten's going to be there. Uh, Felicia's going to be there. I didn't see, at least on this list, more names are going to be announced later, I'm sure, but I didn't see like Jared or Izzy or Sari, but I saw the majority of the BB25 cast, and Corey and America are going to be there. Yeah, a lot of people from last season are going to be there. But my main mission is to get that interview, secure that interview with Mimi that I never got. Hold on, I might still have this Mimi clip before I go.
I'm just like, these people are, I don't know if they're sane or if I'm sane. Like, I could be the crazy one.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just like, this is all way too much. It's so stupid. Oh, y'all not smart. Y'all just liars who get lucky
You're
from time
liars.
to time. Relax. Don't give yourself so much credit. Liars who get lucky every now and again.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. All of this smart and genius and diabolical, all of that, absolutely not.
I'll leave you with one more thing. Hold on, one more thing. One more thing. Where we at?
You are now tuned in to Mindful Reality, the channel that covers reality TV from a mental health perspective.
What's up, family? It's Mimi from Big Brother Season 25, and you are now tuned in to Mindful Reality with Mark. I need for y'all to stop what you're doing and make sure that you like, comment, and subscribe because the math ain't mathin', okay?
You are the lady. Make sure the math is mathin'. I hope everyone has a great Friday, and we will talk again soon.